My dad keeps sending me videos on how Pokemon cards are outperforming the stock market, and I just don't know how to tell him that there's a difference between Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. So if you have any advice, let me know in the comment section below. Hi, my name's Nick. I run this channel, Capital Catalyst, where the goal is, the reason it's called Capital Catalyst is to make money. A catalyst for capital. That's the goal. Cards on the table. And let's talk about making money. Has anyone been paying attention to collector booster boxes the past month? That's not the main point of this video. The main point of this video is that there are more Magic players now than ever before. But I suspect that they have something to do with each other. If you had to guess how many unique collector booster boxes in the past month, so we're talking July 2nd, 3rd to August 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th-ish, in about a month, how many collector booster boxes have experienced 5+% gains, not just in the market price, but in sales history on TCG Player? So you can see about a month in the past of sales history or whatever, or, you know, if you're tracking it, you could track and know how many collector booster boxes have received a 5+% gain. How many collector booster boxes are there total? That's another great question. How many collector booster boxes are there total? Let my intern work on that. And so take a guess. 5? 10? Like, we know Final Fantasy's going up. What other ones get talked about? We know that, you know, Secrets of Strixhaven is performing well. We know that, I don't know, Aether Drift. Maybe you're really savvy in the market. You know that Aether Drift has been getting a spike recently. So what do you think it is? 5? 10? 15? I would guess 15. That'd be my guess. I was wrong. Try 40. 40 collector booster boxes that have received over a 5% gain in the past month in sales price to, you know, sales price a month ago to sales price today, so to speak. This video is a little delayed. The last sales date here was 8/3, and I know this is coming out on like the 6th or something like that. So it's a little delayed, but the point still stands. Assassin's Creed leading the pack with 36% gains, a confirmed sale at $542, where it was $400 a month ago. And then here at the bottom, we have sets like Commander Legends, Battle for Baldur's Gate, Lorne Eclipsed, and Spider-Man. Spider-Man with 5% gains. 223 units sold in the past month. Quite a big number. In fact, the only thing that sold more is The Hobbit. And The Hobbit's experienced a 12% gain from 800 to 900 in the past month. This is crazy. You can take a look at this spreadsheet. Very interesting, right? So everything from Infinity to Murders at Call of Manor to Avatar The Last Airbender, Kaldheim, Double Masters 2022, Universes Beyond Fallout. Really? Fallout? Fallout went from 1664 to 1760. 5.8% gains. Absolutely bonkers. So, according to my intern, 40 of 51 collector booster boxes, 78% of all collector booster boxes that exist rose 5+% compared to actual sales. Is my intern right? I don't know. I can't fact check that right now. But what I can say is these numbers are right. This is pulled from data that I've been gathering. And this is crazy. And so that's just to frame up what I'm about to talk about, because the question is, what is the catalyst? What is happening? And as the title and thumbnail suggest, my thesis is that it is new players. Because there's a couple other hypotheses. Maybe it's scalpers. Maybe there is a cartel of individuals. Cartel's a technical term, by the way, economics technical term for people that work together to do price manipulation. But they're individuals, right? But they're colluding. They're a cartel. Like the drug cartel is a group of different gangs that are artificially holding back supply to raise prices so they can make extra money. So in theory, scalpers, by the way, scalpers can't raise prices, not unless they collaborate, because every scalper is incentivized to make the most money as quickly as possible, which is to sell, right? And maybe some scalpers want to hold and try to realize gains later, but then they're kind of more of like investors than scalpers. But scalpers, they want to sell and make money, and there's an incentive to undercut each other. So scalpers aren't going to raise prices on their own. But if scalpers are working together, if there's a cartel of scalpers, if there's a strategically coordinated group of individuals that are buying up the products and holding, restricting supply in the hopes that prices will rise, that would raise prices. And maybe that's what's going on. Maybe there's a bunch of people that are buying Dominaria United collector booster boxes saying, the price will go up. I kind of doubt it. The thing is about, I can share my screen again. The thing about all of these too is you get this, no, ew, I opened up Edge. The thing about these two is you can see these units sold. These are real numbers of units sold. Like The Hobbit selling 1,400 boxes. Pay no mind. But even some of these are as low as, Phyrexia OB1 only selling 7 boxes. But 7 boxes is 7 boxes. And you add all this up, that is 3,600 collector booster boxes selling on TCG Player. It's a lot. There's a lot of people spending a lot of money on a lot of Magic cards. And I don't think it is a cartel. I don't think it is a bunch of scalpers working together to try to raise prices of everything at the same time. It would make more sense if it was just a couple things that were spiking in price and everything else was like mellow or something. There's consistent, strong demand. I mean, what is the, I can do this Excel formula. What is the total value, like the minimum value that's been spent across all of these things? And the answer to that, actually, there's going to be a lot of commas, so I want to get those commas straight. Don't want to mess this up. Whoops. Equals sum. I should be sharing my screen, but it's okay. And let's turn this into a number. 2.2 million. All right. Just a clean $2.2 million has been spent on the last month on collector booster boxes that have been spiking in price, or not necessarily spiking. 10% isn't like a spike, but this is a raise, right? And a rise. And I believe that this is relatively organic. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense with the influx of demand we've seen at pre-releases, where Strixhaven was setting records for day one sales and pre-release sales. Then Marvel set records with day one sales. I don't think it set a record with pre-release sales, but things are booming. And not just booming from a like scalper, scanner 5000 collectors perspective, but booming as in Magic is popular and successful and doing well. Collector boosters are selling. And it makes a lot of sense to me that you get into the game from Final Fantasy or from Marvel Spider-Man or from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was talking to a friend today. He had a neighbor who he heard was playing One Piece. And he talked to his neighbor and was like, hey, look, I know you're enjoying One Piece. Why don't you just play one game of Magic the Gathering with me? One game of Commander. Just one won't hurt. And then, according to my friend, after that one game of Commander, he's like, oh, this is so much better than One Piece. I'm gonna like cancel my events and I'm gonna get into Magic. And that's the thing, is that like all roads, when it comes to competitive, high quality trading card gameplay, all roads lead to Magic. It can't be beat. And so when people discover Magic through all these universes beyond sets and then eventually, or maybe through universes within sets, what they want is more Magic. You know, you don't play Marvel superheroes and think like, wow, this is so great, I'm going to go back and watch every Avengers movie. Maybe you do. But what you really experience after you play with Marvel superheroes cards is, wow, this is a lot of fun. What was Strixhaven like? What was Bloomborough like? What was Double Masters 2022 like? And that's what I believe is happening. I don't know who these salespeople are. I don't know the profiles of the $2.2 million, the people who spent all this money. But there's a lot of sales here. A lot of sales from presumably a lot of different people. Like I said, I don't believe this is like a group of 10 people that spent this 2.2 million in just the past month. And this is the summer slowdown too. Like, so this should be like slow sales. But yet prices are rising. Things are being bought. People want the cards, and they're not just being relisted. Supply is being stretched thin because of demand, which is causing prices to rise. People are opening this stuff and enjoying the products. I believe new players are coming into the game. They're going back in time. They're opening up these cool products. And what does that mean for the rest of this year? What does that mean for The Hobbit and for Reality Fracture and for Star Trek and for the future sets coming out next year? I think they're going to pump. I think that we're not at the end of this bull market because of the new players. If this was just recycled old players, we would see more slowdowns. We would see some booster boxes drop. We would see new Phyrexia boxes go down, and Fallout boxes go down, and Final Fantasy boxes go down. Because if it's the same people that are just buying and reselling or buying and opening, there's enough supply to take care of those same people. But the new people, in my opinion, that's what's going to stretch things thin and cause there to be a shortage. And there's a shortage. There's a shortage of play boxes. I mean, not Marvel Superheroes or Team NT, but shortage of Strixhaven, shortage of Lauren. I mean, the prices aren't too high, but they're just not readily available at distribution. And then thinking about all the sets last year, I mean, Final Fantasy is probably the prime example of a shortage of a play box. It's wild. It's wild, people. But if you think that things are slowing down, if you think we're at the end, that's just not the case. I would recommend, if you have money, if you have saved in tax advantaged ways for retirement, and you feel confident in the financial well-being of your family, then I would recommend buying collector booster products. I am not as big of a fan of speculating on singles or, I don't know, sports gambling. Don't sports gamble. But I think the numbers behind these collector booster box products are good. And that's why I've been putting some money into these things. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a comedy channel. Check my description. I am a comedy channel. But that's just where I'm at. That's how I'm feeling. And that's what I'm doing. And so, crazy times, y'all. I don't see this slowing down. I could be wrong. I do think we'll see dips. I still believe there's going to be, I'm very confident about a dip in play booster box prices for The Hobbit. I am less confident, but I still believe that there's going to be a dip in the collector booster box prices for The Hobbit. We'll see. And I believe there could be dips for other box prices in the future. For example, Reality Fracture are pre-ordering for like $475 or something like that right now. I don't think they're necessarily going to be $475 at release. I think they'll be closer to $400 at release. But that being said, if you can find good prices, if you can pre-order, man, now's the time, by the way. If you want to pre-order Reality Fracture, you want to be looking now. The best price you could ever possibly get would be something like $275. But really, if you're able to pick those up for $325, and if you know where to pick those up for $325 and want to let me know, send me a message, and I'd appreciate that, because I think that similar to Strixhaven, this is just going to be another Slam Dunk Magic set where the collector booster boxes go from, pre-ordering, well, it's kind of awkward because they're already pre-ordering for inflated prices right now. But what happened with Strixhaven was they're pre-ordering for $325 easy. And then once spoilers came out and people knew what was inside of the box, boom, prices shot up to $400 plus. And then on release day, it was $400 plus. And then now it's like $480 or whatever. So I imagine something similar with Reality Fracture, except that it's already spiked. So I guess that it'll come down some, but still stay elevated. Anyways, try to find good prices. It's hard. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much, my generous patrons who support this content and help make this all possible. We just did a patron hangout. I'm sure it was a lot of fun, even though I'm recording this before that patron hangout. But anyways, good times, y'all. Take it easy. Peace.